Danny, good to see you again. Can we start with your team news going into the Norwich match? Do you have any fresh injury concerns at all?
No, we pretty much came through the Stoke game unscathed. So players are fit and they're in yesterday for recovery session. Players who didn't play did a training session to compensate for them. And we're pretty much full strength from Stoke.
That's good. Tino went off in the second half, so I'm presuming by that answer he's all okay. It's just a precaution.
Yeah, he's took a knock. He didn't. He came in, did a extra recovery session. He'll be assessed today, but we're hoping it's just a precaution.
How's David getting on, David Kasumo? Do we still have a similar time frame on him, or can we have an update at all?
I don't want to put an exact time frame on. He was on the pitch yesterday with the physios, so he's back running, doing some light ball work. So it wasn't as worse as we first feared. So that's positive.
Good stuff. How's it been over the last 48 hours then after getting that home, and what's the mood been like?
Yeah, it's certainly a different feeling from when you lose a game to when you win. It was really good to get the first win under our belts of this season. Really positive sort of in the reflection after the game, but moving on quickly to Norwich now, so the preparation quickly begins for that.
Does it almost feel like relief? Because obviously with the first two league games and the cup games, some people might be thinking, oh, when are they going to get that first win? And the performance and the result you put in on Saturday has certainly answered that.
Yeah, it's 100% more relief than enjoyment, just to get up and running. But we've had a lot of belief in this squad. The players have always shown belief. So I think it was just a matter of time until we perform that way and won a game.
Dwayne Holmes had a big impact when he came on, a couple of assists. Has he been knocking on your door asking for a start, or are you tempted to think about him for the 11 on Tuesday?
Yeah, Dwayne's one of those players and characters that are always knocking on my door. But no, he's a great lad, and when he can come on and make that kind of impact, he's always then in your mind, like all the other players, to potentially get a start.
I was going to say, what's he like to manage if he's always like that? Do you have to ever have a word with him about things like that?
No, he's a great character. Everybody has their own sort of individual ways and their own personality, and Dwayne's certainly a popular character in the changing room.
Danny Ward and Jordan Rhodes both on the score sheet at the weekend. A little bit of a competition going on between those two for goals this season.
I'm not sure if they compete against each other. I think the kind of players and people who just compete against themselves. They want to continue getting better. They've both scored 2 goals each this season, which is really positive to get them up and running. So I'm sure they'll be in a confident place.
And if they are in their minds or between them saying they want to outscore each other, that's only a good thing for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's really healthy when you can get players sort of competing against each other without really consciously thinking that. I think you do sort of, it does drive you on to improve and be better, I think.
The last time Town travelled to Norwich, it wasn't really a happy evening, was it? That 7-0 defeat. Did you have any memories of that game, or have you tried to put that to one side?
Yeah, I didn't until you've mentioned it now, Louis. But it was a difficult evening. I think when you suffer a defeat like that in any kind of circumstances. So, but no, you quickly move on from that and you just prepare for the game going forward.
And they've not had the best start to the season. We obviously know all the qualities they've got, but is it a good time to play them maybe?
I think it's a squad full of quality, and the performances this season so far of Norwich, the stats have been stacked in their favour. So they've been in the games, they've been probably the dominant team in the games, but they've not had the results. So we're fully aware of that. I think it's a good time for us to play them coming off the back of our win, and that'll be our focus. We'll focus on us and what we can do to perform in that game.
I was going to say that obviously Saturday, Tuesday, we're into the thick of it already, but now you've got that win under the belt. Is it a good thing that the next game's just around the corner?
Yeah, I think this season's very unique. I've said this before, that games coming thick and fast, particularly the early part of the season. So we're limited really to what we can do actually on the pitch. So we need to sort of focus on the off-field coaching side of it. But yeah, the game, we like the games coming thick and fast.
Good luck for it, Danny. Good to see you.
Cheers, Louis. Thanks, mate.
Add it up.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, is it a different sort of feeling with the players after a victory, I presume?
Yeah, definitely. I think the body language suggests it's a bit more happier and more confident. But I've sensed that in the players when we've suffered defeats as well. They've always sort of believed in what we're trying to do, and there were a few changes for the Stoke game. But yeah, much more positive and much more happy environment.
I think Kane Castlehaden, obviously, he came in and I asked about him after the game as well. But having sort of reflected on the game, what do you make of his performance, and where do you see him sort of fitting into the side going forward?
Yeah, I thought Kane was outstanding. I think we're playing with three centre backs, and Kane as a attacking wing back suits his profile and his strengths, and he gives us sort of that attacking impetus on the right side. So yeah, Kane did fantastic, and I think that'll be a focus of his role going forward.
Initially, I think the feeling was you were not going to look to replace Pippa. What sort of prompted the change of thinking on that?
I think it's just always reflecting game by game. So you look at the performances and you look where we can strengthen. And I think there's always discussions within the club how we can strengthen the squad. And we collaborate really well on that. So we try and identify what areas we need to improve on so we can improve the squad and also improve the players that are already on the pitch. I think Kane certainly did that.
And Jack Rodoni as well came in, and central midfield. Do you feel like you've got the better midfield balance with him in there?
I think Jack performed really well. Yeah, I think again Jack can play in a number of positions, but I think his performance defensively and in attack in that position gave us a good impetus in the game.
And what sort of game are you expecting from Norwich?
Yeah, it's going to be obviously a challenge like every other championship game. I think they've got lots of quality players who like to play in the middle of the pitch. So I think our defensive structure and then transitioning into our attacking play is going to be key.
It is a sort of a tough trip, but do you have to sort of go into each game thinking we can win here?
Yeah, 100%. I think you have to have that belief, and we certainly do. We feel as though we can compete in every game, and we can win every game. So that'll be the focus for us. And I feel that in the mindsets of the players, particularly after a good performance and a victory against Stoke, there's no reason why we can't go to Norwich.
We had Sorba on the left-hand side as well. Is that sort of trying to strike up a relationship with Josh Ruffles, get more off that flank?
Yeah, I think so. I think, again, I think Sorba can play on either side of the pitch. I think he's equally as comfortable. I think when we're signing from Boreham Wood, he predominantly played on the left. So yeah, Sorba's capable of playing either side, and I think he complements Josh Ruffles as well.
How do you feel Josh is doing? Is it a bit of a adaptation to the Championship, having not played a huge amount of minutes last year?
I think Josh was chomping at the bit last season. I think one of the reasons Harry Toffolo did so well is because Josh Ruffles was pushing him. When he got the opportunity to play, Toffs realised that Ruffles is a good player. He's pushing me, and then Toffs went to different levels. So, it's a great opportunity for Josh to get more game time, and he'll only improve game by game.
A similar kind of thing to what we had with Ollie Turton last year, where it's sort of getting up to speed and, finding his feet, having not played at this level a huge amount before. Yeah,
definitely. Being exposed regularly at a certain level definitely improves players. It's the same when you first put a young player onto the pitch; they only become better no matter what the performance is like on that day. It can only improve.
There's some doubt about the Coventry game at the weekend. What's your understanding of the situation with that?
Yeah, still very unsure. I know there's discussions between the clubs and the league to see whether that game's going to be on or not, but we'll just sort of prepare the week as though the game is on. Cheers, Steve.
Welcome to Steve's in the room as well. Thanks, Steve.
Morning, Danny. I just wanted to ask, obviously we're into Saturday, Tuesday now. Is that one of the biggest sort of jumps for you, having to prepare games at such short notice?
Yeah, I think so. I think like the reflection process after the game on Saturday needs to be really quick the following day, and then straight away you're recovering the players and then moving on, preparation for Norwich. Like I said, we have very little time on the training pitch, so there'll be a lot of off-field coaching, a lot of video work to prepare this game.
And in terms of how you approach it, do you sort of not really think about Tuesday's game until Saturday's out the way, or do you have to sort of think ahead?
Yeah, no, we do think ahead. We do sort of plan so far in advance in terms of personnel, what if scenarios, looking at players who are physically ready to compete, back-to-back games, what minutes they can play. So there is one eye on the following game, but yeah, you've got to focus on the first game before that one's completed.
Yeah, and obviously you talked to Stephen there about the qualities Kane brings. I guess he's a different type of wing back to Ollie Turton, for example. So will it be sort of a horses for courses approach as the season goes on, do you think?
In terms of
whether you go for Ollie's more defensive qualities in one game, Kane's more attacking qualities in another.
Yeah, I think we've always got sort of a game plan in mind depending on what we feel as though the opponent is and their strengths and their weaknesses. So yeah, this is all part of sort of our planning process and team selection.
Yeah, and you talk about the young players. Is it important to dip them in and out at this stage? I know not just Kane, but and even players sort of new to the league. Is it important to sort of dip them in and out, or will some of them just benefit from playing regularly from now on?
Yeah, I think it's all down to performance and how you judge that player's impact on the rest of the players in the team, because that's what we are. We're playing a team sport. And I think with young players, if they come in and set the world alight, then there's no reason why consistently you can't keep selecting them. I don't think it's a case of just put them in and pull them out. I think that's probably more so the case with young players. But if a young player comes in and really impacts, then they'll be considered for selection.
And just on Jordan, obviously finished last season strongly, already got a couple of goals this season. He's such an experienced player, you know, he's been there and done that. But do you still notice a difference in him when he's started the season like this? Yeah,
he's a special person, Jordan. He just continuously wants to improve and get better. I think he's 32 now, and he wants to improve his sprinting. He wants to improve his physical capabilities. He wants to improve his goal scoring. He's this kind of kid, and he's going to go like this all the way to the end of his career. And I think he's got lots of years left in him because this is the mindset he has. And it's no surprise to me that the minutes he's played on the pitch, he's scored 2 goals.
And how important is it as a football club to have particularly experienced players like that for the younger players to look at and learn from that attitude?
100%. As a coach, these type of people and senior players with all this experience are vital because I want to involve them in the development of the young players as well. So they play a massive role, not just on the pitch, but also like from a coaching sense as well. So we're trying to get our money's worth out of these players by turning them into coaches as well. But no, they can only help and benefit the younger players.
And at the other end of the field, Lee Nichols had a difficult first day of the season, but that penalty save again, do you think that'll have a big impact on his sort of mentality?
Yeah, I think these moments in players' careers when they have little dips, the true test of their character is how quickly they can start climbing from it. And that penalty save from Lee was excellent. It's not down to luck; it's down to his qualities and the work him and Clem do on the training pitch. So yeah, we're hoping that's a pivotal moment in our season.
Yeah, I think I heard that's his 15th now. That's some going 15 penalty saves for the goalkeeper.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Yeah,
and I guess all goalkeepers make mistakes. It's just a matter of making as few as possible and reacting as well as possible, isn't it?
Yeah, I think mistakes in football is inevitable. It's a big part of the game, and like you just stated there, Stu, it's how you react and how quickly you can overcome those mistakes.
But I mean, do you feel obviously we know you're inexperienced in this job, but you've got quite a few experienced players like Jordan, like Lee, like Tom Lees. Has that really helped to sort of not go overboard in terms of the poor start? You know, just keep the right level and concentrate on what you should be doing.
Yeah, those players have experienced losses before, back-to-back losses, and have utilised their experiences as well. For me, as a new coach, but we work really closely together to sort of come through these difficult moments. And like I said, we've always believed in each other to keep developing and growing.
Brilliant. Thanks for your time, Dave.
Sorry, one quick one. I wouldn't normally ask about former players, but he is an academy product. Lewis O'Brien yesterday, man of the match. Commentators saying, you know, he's playing in front of the England manager. He's caught the eye there. Is it a source of pride for the club to see someone like Lewis going and doing well like that, having come through that system? Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I think everyone at the club has been a part of Lewis's growth and development, and they feel a real connection with him. So to see him do so well and play to that level is
it's a really proud moment, I think, for everyone at the club. It's excellent. Yeah. Cheers, Steve.
Cheers, guys.